y'all. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. It's your girl, Coach Crystal. If you are just joining us, welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. This is a candid virtual podcast where we talk to people who I admire, people who have helped me grow. And sometimes we do something like we're going to do tonight, which is I'm going to teach you a tool. Now, here's the thing. We're about to go into the new year. And it could be new year, it could be new you, it could be a lot of newness happening. But if we're doing the same old things and using the same old strategies, we're going to get the same old results. So as we do here at Wisdom Wednesdays, tonight I want to just give you something to work on. But also I want to welcome you into this community. If this is your first time, we start Wisdom Wednesdays the way we start each and every interaction in our community. And it's with our company mantra that says a lot of things happen before this. And I guarantee a lot of things are going to happen after this. But I promise to be here with you now. Please be here with me now. Tonight, if you're tuning in, we're going to be talking about the vision code. Now, I'm a vision coach. That means that I believe that you actually don't have a life until you have built a vision for something you would actually love to live from and into. There are a lot of people who like to strategize about their life, their time, their money, their effort. But at the end of the day, they actually haven't become the person they would love to be. Now, I believe there's a difference between doing and being. And so in order to create a holistic vision for my clients and our community, we are often thinking about the essential things that need to happen to build ourselves into the lives we would love. Now, we're going to break down a little acronym tonight, which is called the vision code. Now, the vision code is going to be broken into 4 distinct words. We're going to define these words, and then if you have questions, you should feel free to drop those in the chat at any time, and I'm going to address that. But I want to get through what I think are 4 essential dynamics of creating and living a life of vision, and not just living to be trying to be successful, but to actually define success on your own terms and create a sustainable mechanism for a life you love. Not a life you can tolerate, not a life that other people feel like is good for you, but a life you actually love living. So let's dive right in. Tonight, we're going to break down the vision code. The first part of the vision code is clarity. Now, we're just going to use some Webster definitions here, but I want to really take and dismantle not what do we think the word means, but really what it means. So clarity means the quality of being coherent and intelligible, or the quality of transparency or purity. Now, I know some of those words could be tangled up with some feelings of judgment and regret and all these other things, but let's just look at clarity. What does it mean to be coherent and intelligible about your vision? It means that I know exactly what it means. I know what it looks like, and I can communicate it clearly to other people. Now, this is important because a lot of times we're wanting to tell people about what we're trying to create, but we don't have the words for it yet. And then we actually need to be a little bit more transparent and pure in our intention, not in the judgmental action, but in the intention of sharing so that we can actually call in the people who can work with us to make this happen. Now, that's the C, that's clarity. The second one is obedience. I know, rough. You're probably like, oh my God, obedience to what, Chris? Obedience to who? Obedience to the vision, what it's calling you to be. A lot of times when we're developing visions, we are actually seeing ourselves higher, and it takes more than what we've been doing to get to a bigger, freer, fuller versions of ourselves. So if we're compliant to the new version of ourselves, we have a little joke here at Steps and Stages that says, if the you in 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years is not pleased with the decisions you're making right now, then you're not making vision-driven decisions, right? So obedience is defined as a compliance with an order, request, or law or submission to another's authority. The authority you're submitting to is the you in your vision, the higher self, the bigger, freer, fuller you. If you can rely on that person to be aligned with your intention and your vision, then all the decisions you make are about growth rather than security, complacency, or scarcity. So we got clarity, we got obedience. The next one is design. Many of us don't take the time to design the life we would love. We might throw some pictures up on a pretty board and we might look at it every now and then, or we might tell someone we want something better, but we're actually not doing the inner work to support that transformation. So a design is a plan or a drawing produced to show the look or function or workings of a building, a garment, or the object before it is built. Before you start building a life you would love, you have to know what that thing is going to look like. And then you have to actually see yourself in it. Many of us have gone through the process. It's the end of the year. We want to make a vision board. We want to see ourselves in it, but we actually never put ourselves physically in the board. We have things that represent the images that we want to create, but we actually don't put ourselves in it. And that's where the last word of the code comes from, and that's execution. The carrying out or putting into effect of a plan, order, or course of action. Now, many of you out there have executed plans, not just for yourself, but for your industry, your job, your workplace, and the execution of that plan had some type of impact. Now, what happens is when we create visions or designs for our own lives, we sometimes falter in the execution because other things get in the way. When other things get in the way, we're actually defaulting on the first word in the code, which is clarity. When other things start to come in and drown out your vision, it is no longer coherent. It is no longer clear. It is no longer transparent. It's actually getting washed over and covered over by other things to do. And this is where we want to be clear that doing and being are very different things. We can get a lot done, but we might not become the person we would love to be or actually inhabit the life we would love to live if we're not executing on the being portion. So when we think about the code, clarity, obedience, design, and execution, I want to throw out there to you as we are thinking about being wise, as we are thinking about using the content of our life as the curriculum for our evolution, where do you get stuck? Where have you gotten stuck in the past? Do you get stuck in actually seeing yourself in the vision? Do you get stuck on the design element because what you see in front of you doesn't match the reality you want to create? Do you get stuck in the obedience or the building of confidence with your own agreements? Right? A lot of the times we fall down on obedience because we actually don't keep our agreements with ourselves. So if we're thinking through this in a clear manner, we might want to know what's stopping us from executing, and stopping us from execution could be a lack of trust in our own intuition. So when we think about the vision code, we're thinking about clarity, obedience, design, and execution. When you are defining these words as what they mean, not the feelings of it, right? Because, I come from a background of being raised in the South, and when someone talks about obedience, I kind of get a little, in my sha-na-na about it, but I have to open myself up to really understand that the obedience I'm going towards is about me being the authority of my vision, the author and the authority of the design that I'm creating. So when we think about this, we want to be super clear that we're not missing out on the next level of our growth because we're hung up on what we might think the function of our code is, right? A lot of times we stop ourselves from growing because we've hit that benchmark before. Many people, many of my clients are successful in their own right, in their field of study, in their occupation, in their homes, in their families. But they know that that type of success is not giving them the reflection and the reciprocal investment that allows them to grow, to be bigger, freer, fuller human beings. They know there's more capacity within their vision. So they open themselves up to clarifying what they would really love. They find a way to become obedient, not to the situation that they're in, but to the vision that they're creating. They design a way to create new rituals for their lives, and then they begin to execute, and that's what gives them the results of transformation. If you are ready to break the code and crack the vision code, we're going to have one last Vision Camp virtual this year, and it's going to be on New Year's Eve. It's going to be New Year's Eve, right? Right before you get ready to turn the lights down or figure out what you're going to do, we're going to have Vision Camp virtual December 31st from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern time. This gives you time to set in your intentions before they become hampered down with the dinner you got to make or the party you got to go to or what you think people think you should look like for the party, all the things. We want to get clear on you before a new year arrives and you're using the same old tools. We're going to crack the vision code, ssvisioncamp.com. You can go over and grab your tickets now. And we're going to actually dive a little deeper into this. For clients, they know we're going to go through the vision framework. And for those of you who were at Vision Camp Live, you know this is real transformation. But the vision code is going to become the basis of how we're going to interact and translate the value of true transformation. Again, this is Wisdom Wednesdays. If you have questions, feel free to drop those in the chat anywhere you're tuning in from, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. I'm happy to answer your questions either now or on the replay. But I want you to take this into consideration as you are looking towards the next 20 days, 20 some days into the new year, right? When you think about entering another cycle of the calendar, is this another opportunity for you to level up your own transformation, to deepen your personal intellect, to deepen your commitment to your own intention, and to let go of some of the other definitions that have been holding you back? We get to design and define the lives we would love. So if you're ready to do that, I want you to jump over to ssvisioncamp.com. I'll see you on New Year's Eve, and we're going to crack the code: clarity, obedience, design, and execution. This is Wisdom Wednesdays, y'all. I will see you soon. Have a merry everything.